To the V&A Museum, and as some of you noticed, the V&A Museum stands for the Victoria and Albert, so it started in the Victorian era, which we'll be learning all about. Exciting! Let's go and have a very quick look around. This is the medieval and Renaissance European room, full of beautiful sculptures. Not many of them are wearing clothes, which is a little bit rude, so let's not stay too long in here. Let's go and see what else we can find. Here's some from the same room with their clothes on, that's a relief. And if we go just through here, we've actually got lots of Buddhist statues. So this is pretty awesome. You guys might recognise some of these from your studies that you've done with Mrs. Pearman. Some amazing golden Buddha statues. Here's a rather scary looking samurai. Their amazing outfits and some of the incredible samurai swords that we used in Japan. Here are some beautiful costumes from Korea. Pretty amazing. Here's a pretty spectacular part of the museum that I haven't actually been to before, which is part of the medieval and Renaissance exhibition. And this is a beautiful oak wooden staircase. Huge. Here are some medieval tapestries and wall hangings, which are pretty beautiful. So these are from around 1500, so a little bit before the Victorians, about 300 years before. I will get to the Victorians on another visit here, but now we are off to find some awesome ceramics, because I want to do some sketching. So I've got some inspiration from my pottery class. Let's go! On the way to see the ceramics, let's have a look at some of the funky things made with glass. Look at these fancy bottles. Look at this kind of amazing glass banister. It's really a very beautiful room. Boo, this was not part of my plan, but never mind, let's go and look at some other stuff instead. This is in the architecture room, so there's models of loads of different buildings, which is quite cool. This is a model of a building in Surrey. Any guesses as to where this building might be from? Let's have a look around here. All the ornate patterns and decorations. Let's have a look here. Well done if you guessed Japan. And these ones are actually models of Westminster, of the Houses of Parliament. This is a closer look at that beautiful glass decoration in the main hall. Beautiful, beautiful ornate decorations here. And this is the entrance hall where I came in. This bit's quite interesting. This is actually a display case of lots of keys and beautiful locks. Look at how interesting these keys are. And some of these were around during the Victorian times. So look at these. They're amazing. Imagine having a lock on your door that looked like that, with a little keyhole just there. These are all beautiful wrought iron gates and fences. They're really very pretty. I think this is quite a beautiful mirror. Hello everybody. Here is some furniture from the early 1800s, so just before Victoria came on the throne. This is what it might have looked like inside one of their houses. Here's an interesting bit where it looks down to another room through a load of squashed up brass instruments. That's pretty funky. There are some tiles here that you can actually touch, which is quite interesting, and feel them, and different wallpapers from the Victorian times. So we might be doing some Victorian art that looks a little bit like this. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Here's a painting with Victoria and Albert and some of their 9 children from the opening of the Great Exhibition of 1851, which we'll be doing lots of learning about. And here's a model of Crystal Palace, or this is half of Crystal Palace, which was actually built for the Great Exhibition of 1851. It was designed by a man called Joseph Paxton, and it had nearly 300,000 little glass window panes in it. And if I'm not very much mistaken, which I'm remembering from when I was learning about the Great Exhibition, the Crystal Palace was actually 1,851 feet long, which is 1 foot long for every year, because the Great Exhibition was in 1851. And all of these items are pretty typical of that time, around the mid-1800s and around 1850. Look at this. It's a chair with a royal portrait of Prince Albert. And some massive vases with portraits of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert.